In this lesson, I'm going to show you how we can solve these complex systems using our skills on solving and using our skills to help set up the system and then solve it by using either elimination, substitution, or whatnot. So these types of problems can be confusing if you don't understand what's going on. So let's look at our first problem here. It says it takes Akira 10 minutes to make a black and white drawing and 25 minutes for a color one, or a color drawing. On Saturday, he made a total of 9 drawings in 2 hours. How many drawings of each type did he make? So we have a different rate for each kind. So we're going to have two different systems. But before we can do anything with our systems, we first have to set up our variables. We have to determine what we want x and y to be. So when we think about what we want our variables to be, sometimes we can use what the question is asking us as a guideline. For example, they want to know how many drawings of each type. So if we let x equal the number of black and white drawings, then y can equal the number of color drawings, and that should work. So let's go ahead and do that. So x is going to be the number of black and white drawings, and y will be the number of color drawings. And this is important that we distinguish what we want our variables to be, because as we go to solve our system, we need to keep in perspective what our answers represent. So let's go through our problem now and figure out what is the real important information here. Well, we know it's going to take, it takes him 10 minutes for black and white drawings and 25 minutes for color drawings. So that's his speed and his rate. On Saturday, he did a total of 9 drawings in 2 hours. Now, I already see a difference here. If you look at the rate, the speed that it takes him for black and white drawings, see how it's in minutes? But on Saturday, they didn't give us minutes, they gave us hours. So that means we're going to have to convert this hours into minutes when we get to that step. So let's look at our first possible system. Well, on Saturday, he did a total of 9 drawings. So that means that his number of black and white drawings plus the number of his color drawings needed to equal 9. So our first equation can just be x plus y equal to 9. So this represents, the number of black and white drawings he did plus the number of color drawings he did needed to equal 9 drawings total. So now when we look at the time, remember it said it took him 2 hours, but since our rates are in minutes, we need to convert 2 hours into minutes. So 2 hours into minutes is 120 minutes. And it takes him 10 minutes to do a black and white, so we're going to do 10x plus and 25 minutes for the color drawing. Here is our system. We have the amount, we know the total amount of drawings he made was 9, and we know that the total time needed to be 120 minutes or 2 hours. So now we have our system. So now we can solve it. And looking at this system, I would say the best way to solve this would probably be elimination. Some of you might say substitution. Elimination could be a little quicker. If we solve for y, for substitution, we could put 9 minus x right here and then distribute and combine. That's fine. But I think I'm going to solve this by elimination. So let's go ahead and just put it right over here. And then we have 10x plus 25y equals 120. Now, to solve this by elimination, I need to have my inverses. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel the y out, the y coefficient, or I'm sorry, the y term. So that means I need to multiply this whole thing by negative 25. So I get a negative 25 and a positive, and the y's cancel out. So my new problem will look like this, my new system. Whoops. And then 25 times 9, if you can't do it in your head, we'll just do it off on the side. So 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 4 is 22. So we get a negative 225. So now, here's my real addition. So negative 25x plus positive 10x is going to be a negative 15x. This is 0. Those cancel out. And then this negative 225 plus a positive 120 will be a negative 105. So now we divide by negative 15. So x equals, so we got to divide this, so 105. This is for you, those of you that don't have your calculators. Let's see, how close can it get? I know if I do 15 times 6, that's 90, so I bet it's 7. So 15 times 7, yep, there it is. So it's going to be positive 7. Now, what does this represent, though? Think of, what did we make x equal? The black and white drawings. So we have x, and now we have to solve y. And if you remember, just like we solved before, whenever we find the first term, we put it back into one of the original equations. Well, clearly the first one is easier. So x plus y equal to 9. We figured out x is 7. So we're going to put 7 here. Using inverse operations, y equals 2. But remember, what did y equal? Color. So to answer the full question, he did 7 black and white drawings, and he did 2 color drawings. So that is our complete answer right there. So really the only difficult time that you guys will have with this is setting up the system right here. But everything else is still the same. We're still solving it like we normally would. And when you get your x and y, don't leave it like that. You have to go back to the original problem and go, okay, what do these represent? And you write in your answer out like this.